2 pouches of graham crackers. You know how they come in like a sleeve? 2 of them. You're gonna mush it up. I use a rolling pin and I roll on it as much as you can in the pouch. Sometimes the pouch pops open, so try to be like gentle, but crush it up as much as you can. And then to finish crushing, put it in a bigger bowl, take a smaller bowl, and you can just kind of like go around like this. So crush up 2 pouches of graham crackers. Melt 1 cup of butter. It doesn't have to be butter. It can be margarine. It can be like vegan butter. It can be salted. It doesn't matter. Melt 1 cup and pour it into your graham crackers. 2 cups of powdered sugar, also known as confectioner's sugar. Again, you don't need to be exact. Just measure out like roughly 2 cups of powdered sugar. Dump it into the bowl with your graham crackers and melted butter. 1 cup of peanut butter. Put that on top of the powdered sugar, and then you're gonna mix that whole mixture up. It's gonna look kind of like this, and if you smell it, you can tell that what we have just created is the inside of a Reese's cup. It's incredible. Line a square baking pan with parchment paper, wax paper, whatever, and leave extra on the sides because you're gonna be using this to lift the whole thing out when you go to cut it. Spread your peanut butter mixture in there and pat it down as flat and even as you can get it. It should look something like this. A little texture is actually kind of good. You don't want it too flat. A little texture is kind of good because that helps the chocolate stick to it. But pat it down pretty flat. Take 2 cups of chocolate chips and put them in a meltable, microwavable container, and roughly a 1/4 cup of peanut butter, and you're gonna melt and combine these. So do like 15 seconds, pause, try to stir a little, another 15 seconds, and just keep going really slow until you have nice melted chocolate. The more peanut butter you put, the softer the top of the Reese's cup is gonna be, and the less you put, the harder it's gonna be. So if you didn't put any, it's like not fun to eat, it's too hard. When it's all done, it's gonna look like this. Trust me, do not try to do more than 30 seconds in the microwave. Like, you need to do less than 30-second spurts or you're gonna burn the chocolate, and that's gonna suck because you don't have extra usually, and chocolate's fucking expensive. Pour that all over the top of the peanut butter and powdered sugar mixture and use your spatula to try and spread it out nice and even. Okay, so at the end, you're done. You're done now. It's gonna look like this. I usually like wiggle it a little bit to make sure that it's like nice and flat. Smack it on the counter a couple times. You can get out some big bubbles. And then you just put that in your freezer. You have to put it on a flat surface, obviously, because the chocolate is wet. So, liquid. So if you have to like clean your freezer first or something, do that. Like, don't go in unprepared. I'm prepared because I was planning to make it. Then you just go do whatever while it's hardening in the freezer. I think it usually takes like an hour or 2 hours. If you take it out when it's been hardening for like an hour, or like if you take it out, you can check, you can look and kind of tell that the chocolate is still like a little bit soft. Not too soft, but like not too hard either, but that's when it's easiest to cut. If you wait till it's been frozen like overnight, then when you go to cut it, it's gonna be like too hard and it's gonna just splinter everywhere. I mean, it's still good, you can still eat it, but if you want neat little squares, you have to take it out when it's been in there for like an hour. It's been like an hour. Lift it out of the tray like this and put it on top of your cutting board. Take the biggest knife that you have in your house, and then you're just gonna cut it into squares, and you kind of have to peel away the wax paper first. So when it's all cut up, it'll look like this, and you can cut whatever size you want, and then you just put it back in the freezer, and then you just eat it straight from the freezer. And you can see I waited a little too long for some of the chocolate hardening, so I got some cracked ones. But that just means I have to eat those now, so it's not bad.